How's it going, everybody? It's me, Shane. I'm here to give you my review of Solo Leveling Episode 12, the season finale, entitled Arise. And before I go any further, please arise to hitting that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can be notified of more reviews just like this one. If you want to support me even further, my Patreon link is in the description below. Man, what a good first season, right? This was a good episode. I'm trying not to be nitpicky, and I'll address this right now. So the VA, the voice actor or the voice artist, however you want to say it, when he's not screaming, I'm okay with how he speaks and everything. It's just, I don't know, his brand of anime yelling kind of grates me a little bit. It is coming from the person that I couldn't listen to that first episode of Black Clover because Asta just kept, oh my God, he just kept screaming. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? That was not a good introduction. I should probably review Black Clover one day, but I digress. We're talking about Solo Leveling. All in all, great season, good episode. Let's talk about it, right? So the entirety, and I do appreciate this. I do appreciate passage of time, especially when it's obvious and we know that hours have gone by. At least, I want to say at least 6 to 8 hours, somewhere between there. At the lowest 4, but at least 6 to 8 hours, because we know time works differently, right? He does have to do a penalty game. Get to that in a minute, which is 4 hours. So I'm going to assume that those 4 hours overlap with the 4 hours from the other dungeon, possibly, because the job change might be one of those weird different dimensions. I don't know. I'm just going to assume that this whole ordeal, this episode and last episode, is between 6 to 8 hours at max. At least it is 4 hours, and I wrote it down somewhere. 4 hours, I want to say 29 minutes and 16 seconds. I'll tell you why I have that specific one in a second. So it's the morning time. Matter of fact, Jinwoo's sister, don't remember her name, but sister song, she even wakes up, looks, oh, he hasn't come in yet. He must be working late. I hope he doesn't forget that it's guardian teacher student day, and she goes back to sleep. She's not too worried, but I like seeing the overlap of time going, oh, damn, okay, it's been long enough that she's gone to bed after studying, blah, 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 blah. And it's even the morning time where Kyung-hye and the manager, I don't remember Mr. Manager's name, but they're having coffee, they're talking, his speeches are overlapping with what's going on with Jinwoo. And Jin-woo's just trying to survive. And he gets a bit of echoes from the past. I want to say echoes from the past where here's Kim. Remember that first episode, Kim talking, like he's the weakest hunter, E rank. Even sees Kim, and then he sees Mr. Song's son with a hand on his back saying, hey, you've done enough. You don't have to keep going. And we see Joo-hee, or is it he? No, yeah, Joo-hee right there. Her going, you don't have to keep going. Just stop. You don't have to keep getting hurt. And then suddenly you get somebody behind him that goes, that's what you get. Now, initially, I'm thinking that it is Kang Tae-shik, right? And it isn't Kang Tae-shik. It's actually his older self. What he looks like in the intro and in the first 2 episodes. It's him with weird black eyes. And I forgot to talk about the intro, but I'll talk about the intro later. And even this older version of Jinwoo, the mind Jinwoo, the mind goblin Jinwoo, is going, oh yeah, you look pretty strong, you're handsome, you're taller, but you're still, all you are is just still a weak E rank. It even goes as far as saying, you've gotten this far, what else do you need to do? Why do you need to prove any more? You may look different on the outside, but it's still that weakling on the inside. And that's something that I keep harping on. It's like, look, unless y'all explain that this is through magical means. I get that this show, manhwa, book, light novel, whatever you want to call it, all of its different medias, I get it's a power fantasy. It's for people who are weak, and it's like, yeah, we're gonna get strong, and we can be strong, and we can be special. Although I've seen power fantasy done a little bit better. I do consider like the Midoriya power fantasy a little bit better, like someone who works hard. I love hardworking characters, so I'm not taking anything away from Jinwoo, because him doing all these dungeons and stuff is still him being a hard worker. But the one thing I don't like, gotta follow my notes, new notepad. One of the things I don't like is the implication that his old self wasn't hardworking, right? I had more of my notes in here. Hold on. Like, his old self was commendable. He didn't give up. So, using his old self as a normal looking person and having him be this force of going, you should just give up. You suck anyway, right? He wasn't like that. He wouldn't be where he is right now if his old self wasn't going, I'm going to fight until I die. Already lost a leg, then loses an arm. And, he's getting cut up like, I can't remember what video game. That's a video game where something like that happens. But he's getting turned into mincemeat. And that was his old self going, I'm not going to give up. I get it. Push-ups every day, running every day. I don't see how those things make you taller. And I don't see how it goes from you having a normal jawline to just straight angles. Just straight angles. I don't even know if I want to blame it on the manhwa artist or if it's whoever does the art in here. Like, even they kind of attempt to give her a jawline, but man, those sharp ass chins. I digress. I don't know, something about that bothers me. It seems so out of character to have his old self be the one that's discouraging him, right? I would imagine it would be someone like Kane Tae-shik talking shit, like an old adversary talking trash. But as he's down on the ground, because we get like a massive grappler knight that just like straight up Zangiefs him to the ground. And before he dies, before he gets a chance to die and gets slashed with the sword, deja vu, he goes, oh, the system shows penalty game. He's about to be transported. So we can correctly identify that he's been here long enough that it is now midnight. That is now turned to midnight. Then another 4 hours. Then it's morning. So, yeah, I would assume that he started there maybe 7 p.m. It was light when he started. So if we do it based on our American daylight saving time hours, let's say it gets dark around 7. Let's say he started at 6:45. It is now midnight. Then another 4 hours for the penalty, which is real time. Then however many hours it takes him to finish this dungeon. At least another 2. So he gets transported, even mentions that luck is a skill, and his other self says, I'll see you next time. There has to be an entity or something behind that, right? It's so weird. Maybe it's something that's trying to discourage him and remind him of, how weaker he used to be. But Jinwoo, one of the things that I still like about the character, besides the, flip a switch and how he's a murderer thing, and yeah, I get those were done in self-defense. I'm not arguing that. It's the demeanor that he possesses afterwards. I guess that's I will admit that's a bit of a nitpick. I'll throw that away. Regardless of such, the character never gives up. The character always goes forward. Hopefully the voice actor, I heard the voice actor actually, what did he do? He made his throat bleed. That's why there was that bit of recap in the middle, because the screaming he did the episode before, which actually sounded okay. So this is probably the repercussions of having to heal your throat from all of the anime yelling. You need to talk to Masako Sensei. You need to talk to those who done Goku and Luffy. Talk to them. They'll teach you the way. So this penalty game, we learned quite a bit of information here. So here's what we learned. Besides the fact that in this dungeon he can't heal or use items or even use a store, he cannot use a healing item if he is badly injured. So he can only heal through leveling up, which is something we also just learned, that he heals through leveling up, which even comes out of his mouth. It's very convenient. I don't want to call that a Deus Ex moment, but I don't really know many games where you heal through leveling up. I play a lot of Pokemon. Usually if you're hurt, you're hurt. I'm trying to think of other RPGs where if you level up, you heal. I can't think of any, but I know some come to mind. If you know any, please leave a comment down below. Regardless of such, he does reduce his fatigue, open up the store, buy a lot of items. He is hoarding tons of gold. This man does not use that gold, which more or less falls in line with Jinwoo. If he can't take the gold to use in the regular world, there's no point in him really using it. Just use his case of emergency when he's fighting his side quests and stuff. His fatigue got to 90%, which is crazy. As a matter of fact, I had wrote down his stats. His stats before going to that penalty game. He's level 47, and I was thinking that the cap is 50. No, he levels up in here killing centipedes at least 4 times. So, what was that? 3, 4? He's at 51 at this point. His fatigue was at 87, but when he got there, it's at 90. His intelligence is a 66, which is why he can't do a lot of his special skills because they require MP. He dumb. 66 is pretty much average-ish number. 50s, 60s, average, 70s, and 80s are above average, and you get the 90s and the 100s are highs. This man is like although he has a tactician's mind, which is funny, but boy, he has such low int. Very funny. That's just funny for some reason. HP's low, MP low. Duh. That's why he's hurt. After he clears the centipedes, he has a new weapon, which costs 2.8 million gold. So he has tons of gold. He gets Night Killer. 25% more damage when fighting an armored enemy. I'm not going to call it Deus Ex because he opened the store. I know it's 2 other weapons. One was a gravity blade, and the other one was, if you give me a moment, I'm sorry, because I didn't write this down. It's actually coming off the top of my dome. Crimson Edge, which part of me is like, ooh, I wonder if that has something to do with Egress, the blood red knight that he defeated. Kind of cool. Regardless of such, I do like when they put names for items and they take time to do that type of stuff. Immerses you in the world. So also, I don't know if the centipedes' names are red or orange. Like, he still spent the whole 4 hours there, so maybe they're on even level. I know red is above you, blue is easy, blue or black is easy, and the middle one, I think it might be orange. I think it's orange. So he's on par with the giant centipedes to the point where he can beat them. Wrapped up his arm and everything. And he did that with his regular dagger, the poison one. So he goes in. It's been 4 hours. There's more knights. But why are there more knights? Or are there more knights because they're mages? The mages are actually the real problem because he's been killing the knights and hasn't been leveling up. So he goes after all the 7 mages. There's one point where they make a giant golem knight. That was really cool. I don't know if there's 2 different animation teams that they cross over because it looks regular when he's doing like the not in dungeon stuff. When we hit the dungeon, he's fighting these knights again. That stuff looks really good. The giant golem knight looks good. The way he kills it looks cool. When he's doing the shadow skill and they turn into shadow knights, the shadow infantry, the shadow mages, even shadow egress, all of that art looks really good. And I wonder if the switch in styles was just to kind of give the effect of what these beings look like. Kind of when he went into the rage with the scriggles and he was stabbing the egress. Intro is different, by the way. Intro shows him fighting the knights, fighting egress. We've seen him fight egress in intro before, but this one shows him stabbing him. It was very much a foreshadowing of what's going to happen with the purple energy and etc. etc. Double daggers. He spent 4 hours and 29 minutes and 16 seconds in that dungeon. Lasted longer than expected. That's what the system says. We do get some thoughts of his when he's here and when he's over in the penalty area. He's thinking to himself, well, the system said good luck. So does the system want to see me alive so much that it wishes me good luck? He's trying to figure out what's going on here. Now, he doesn't get to choose the other class. The class is based on his actions. His actions, or so they say, right? I'm going to read the speech that the system gave, but before I do that, I'll tell you what they gave him. They gave him Necromancer. Now, the cool part is he's gotten extra points because of different things. He didn't use the teleportation stone. He lasted a very long time. He defeated all enemies. All enemies. So he gets super adaptability points. Those of you who have read the series knows where this is going. He's not just a necromancer. He's now a shadow monarch. And initially, he was going to reject that because he goes, well, I don't have a lot of intelligence. I have strength and speed. You know, I'm an assassin build that goes towards being on front lines. And he thinks about what the necromancer class is. He goes, no, the system tells him this is a unique class only for you, my dude. And so he walks around. And one of the things I do appreciate about this character, he will walk around and at least think out what's going on. And he says, if there was only a way that I could find a comparison so I can make this decision faster. And he thinks about the mages he just killed. Which one of the kills he did was jumping up and just chucking the blade. I didn't remark on him getting Ruler's Hand, which has the ability to move things, physically move things without needing to touch them. So that's what Igris did. Only difference is his shows up as like a blue, like he was grabbing some of the enemies and smashing them to the ground and things like that. So, you know, chucking one dagger, calling it back, cool stuff. And so he thinks about the mages and goes, well, they summon stuff. Necromancers summon the dead to do their bidding. And I'm thinking to myself, like, you could just be a necromancer that also fights. And then he finally comes to that conclusion as well, which is just okay. But let's talk about this. Let me read the speech that was given by the system. If you give me a moment to find it, because this is actually important. So it has to analyze him based on his performance, and it says. Okay. Whatever path the player takes, it is littered with corpses and the stench of blood remains. And he's saying out loud, what does that mean? So we initially see the system as blue. When we get a little bit closer, it's in black and white. And there's no talking during this. This is all silence and text. Adds a lot of weight to it. And I appreciate that. Tons of weight. So, stench of blood remains, right? In addition, the player craves great power and blazes his own path without relying on others. And I'm like, that's not really a good thing, but okay, let's continue. Its thirst for strength calls forth the ghosts that roam the valley of death. Okie dokie. The ghosts summoned by the Shadow Army will follow the player's orders as the Shadow Army and will make way only for the player. And so he's thinking to himself, like, Shadow Army? That's when it deduces all of this. And once he accepts it and all these points come into effect, like this little black wisps, his eyes are purple, he can see the darkness coming off of all the failed knights, and he gets two new skills. He has Shadow Storage, Shadow Extraction. Shadow Extraction allows him to siphon mana to basically raise his fallen enemies to serve on his army. Shadow Storage is the amount that he has, that he can hold in some extra dimensional thing. He can hold 20 at the moment as level 1. So he has Shadow Mages, Shadow Infantry. I'm guessing ally names are in greenish blue for him. And so he's wondering, well, can I get Igris? Can I get higher level stuff? Because the knights are at the level that they were, or should I say, the fallen enemies are at the level they are once they are killed, right? So he's like, well, Igris is obviously like S rank, right? So maybe I can get Igris. Little thing says possible. He also has to have a keyword. His keyword for using the effect is Arise. He tries to do it on Igris twice. He fails twice. He can only do it 3 times. And on his third try, which obviously he's successful, he does have a speech for Igris, right? Uh, oh yeah, 50% health. He had 50% health finishing this. Yeah, after he got to have a tiny break, which was good luck on his behalf. The speech. No, that is Gung-ho speech. I will talk about that in a minute. So he's telling Ygritte that you're a warrior. Your purpose in life should be to cut down foes with that sword of yours. Do you intend to let yourself rest here in this dank and decrepit place? If you need someone to whom you can dedicate your sword to, serve me instead of defending a throne of one long gone. And he reaches the hand out. It was a good enough speech. Defend the man who stands before you. Arise, it works. And you see the black soul coming out of it. I love how matte the colors are for the Shadow Warriors, where everything else kind of has like a shine, has that shine and that saturation. I like the matte colors on the knights. He even has the red plumage, back bubbles up to give him his long cloak, and they kneel in front of him. And one of the things that Jinwoo likes is that, well, now I won't be leveling solo anymore, because as he levels up, his knights get stronger as well. Obviously, class leveling up equals the same as it's the same as rank levels. Ygritte is a knight rank level 7, and part of me is going like, knight rank. I feel like y'all could just make any shit up. Like, oh yeah, a mage rank, sorcerer rank. What? I would like a literal table of what ranks there are. Although, again, this is anime, and anime's whole entire thing is we make rules then to break the rules to show how special the thing that broke the rule is. So I'll try not to get hung up on that. I just hate seeing fake rank. Like, right? Well, at least that's just me. That's just me. I do think it's funny that he could have renamed Ygritte if he wants to, but he does not. That is kind of a-hole thing to say. Like, yeah, you're made for just killing, man. Just instead of, I thought what he was going to do was going to sit on the throne and say, now arise. That would have been an interesting image, screen cap too, but that would have been a very interesting thing to see. I was kind of surprised that didn't happen. And now he's not going in alone. Let's talk about Gung-ho as he's reflecting on the fact that Guild Master Choi, that's the name of red hair guy. Funny that I remember his name at the last episode. Just thinking about the third raid. The third raid on Jeju, he was already retired and old and hurt. The manager, he did go. And it's been a lot of hurt there. A lot of what Gung-ho is saying is juxtaposed on top of what Jinwoo is doing. So when he's talking about, that mental hurt that all hunters have, you either have to, adapt and move past it. No, I wrote this down. Hold on. You overcome that pain, or, you become devastated by it, or it destroys you, which is when Jinwoo was talking to old Jinwoo. And on here, he's saying, it goes without saying, without a reawakening, them as hunters cannot get stronger, they cannot get weaker, which I hate. But they train their combat techniques and gather allies. That's how they oft put it, which, okay, if I'm at A rank, and I can't get up to an S rank, I can beat an S rank as long as I work as hard as an S rank. Do you see where the confusion comes here? I get it, but I don't get it. Now, what else did Gung-ho say? There's another thing he said. He believes that there is new awakenings every day, and someone will be strong enough to defy all of their expectations and strong enough to become a new guiding light. And, it could be in this very moment. And how right he is. How right he is. Because Jinwoo technically did have a second awakening. What he had is like an adjacent to a second awakening, but dude's at a new power level at this point now. He's grabbing souls. He's taking control of folks. So if he's able to, I do like that there's a pass fail on that. Reminds me of Shin Megami Tensei or persona where you got to convince the personas or the devils to join you. And with Grandmaster Choi, we have Hae-in. She has a thing to her mouth. And you got the guild master saying, I'm sorry about all this. She's like, no, I understand what you're going through, so I'm happy to be here. There's a secret as to why she's holding that to her mouth. I was gonna reveal it. I won't reveal it, but it's a secret to why she's doing that. And then there's some movement in the water, and then they go down, and I guess they go down, and now there's a giant dead ant. And they're like, what's the meaning of this? He's going, they've evolved because the ants have wings now. So I'm assuming that over the 3 or 4 years they haven't been there, that the ants have grown wings and are moving about. It's funny because when they go into these dungeons to fight these things, it's like a video game. Although some of them do kind of run away, at least the ones that, no, they don't really run away. They attack, right? So I guess they never really thought about what happens if they stay in the real world, the not dungeon world, long enough. So I don't know how bad of a thing this is, but it's interesting. It's a nice cliffhanger to end on. I do think it's funny in the ending. It looks like new Jinwoo is looking at the screens at old Jinwoo kind of running through the doors and stuff. So yep, that's the season finale of Solo Leveling. Not bad. Lots of action. My initial thought is a 4 out of 5. Just some of the implications, like implicating that old Jinwoo is like negative in some sort, or just I can't see his compatriots telling him, oh, that I guess maybe the quit part was survive as long as you can. Well, he lost the teleportation stone, didn't try to go back and look. So what would have happened if he would have successfully came back, found the stone, and said, all right, I'm gonna leave? There's really no point in him to leave once he healed all the way up, got his mana back, got a new weapon. There's really no point in him leaving. So what if he was able to leave before he got his head smashed into the ground? Would he have gotten much? What? I guess he was only in there for 5 minutes as of last episode. Who knows how long he had been in there at this point? But yeah, but 4 out of 5 for me. At least that's just my initial feelings on it. It wasn't bad. Really great art though. The art and the fight sequences really bring this home. That it highlights what's great about the series. Kind of sad. She's, at least for the foreseeable future, she's not going to be back anymore. So we'll see what's going on there. But yeah, and we do have other things to look forward to, such as, is Doo Suck's brother gonna come and bother them? Bother both of the Jins, Jinwoo and Jin-ho. More than likely, I would love to see how Jinwoo's gonna handle that. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. What did you think of this episode? Did you enjoy the series? For me, the series, all in all, really good first season. Some weirdness here or there. I would give the entire series a 4.5 out of 5. Some of the weirdness kind of overlaps, but really not bad. Good first showing, especially for something that a lot of people have been waiting for. Again, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Do not forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified of more reviews like this one. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for taking some time out to listen to me talk about this entire series. Don't know when it's coming back, but when it comes back, I'm going to be there. So please be good, be blessed. Wash those hands, drink some water. Be safe out there. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. Either way it goes, please don't be a jerk. All right? Remember, there are people out there that care about you. Reach out to someone. There's always someone who would rather talk to you today than to miss you and mourn you tomorrow. I guarantee it. All right? My social media is in the description right down there. Give me a follow. Send me a message. Don't be a jerk. And hey, we'll be good. All right? All right. Until next time, I can't wait to see how we all level up. It's going to be, we don't know what it's going to be, but I am very interested in seeing what happens next.